Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the FUTBIN podcast. My name is Richard Buckley, and for the first time ever, just me and the assistant gaffer. The squad has revolted. No, we were meant to have a very, very special guest with us. I'm sure we can rearrange public transport, unfortunately, meaning that he can't be with us, but we'll keep that as a surprise for a future episode. But Matt, great to be joined alongside yourself. How are you, friend?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, I'm going to stop calling you Arnie Slot for this week.
Yeah, we'll stop.
You've clearly lost the dressing room. You know, Mohamed Salah and all that. We're going to have a picture from our guest in the gym this afternoon, just an empty gym all by himself, saying, "Is it a statement against the gaffer? Has he lost the dressing room? I'll let you decide." But no, good to be here, regardless, Rich, and we've still got a lot to cover.
We certainly do. Coming up on this week's episode, everything has been kicking off. Claudia Pina, Player of the Month, is here. It's going to take up a decent amount of time. We're going to be talking all things Player of the Month Pina. We're going to be talking all things Joga Bonito and what is happening with that promo. How do we feel about it? Is it another gap fill, or are there some hidden gems in the promo? And the big goalkeeper movement nerf finally came in. We talked about it last week. We've had a full week to play. I've had a full week to play champs and watch pro players playing. And what are our big takeaways, thoughts and feelings towards the holiday updates? Before we get into that and before we start talking all things Pina and patches, if you are wanting to play a little bit more FC26, have a look at this. This week, PlayStation tournaments are bringing you the UEFA Champions League Challenge, an exclusive EA Sports FC 26 tournament available on PlayStation 5 with tickets to the Champions League final available. It's free to enter, it's global, and there are loads of prizes on offer. Open qualifiers are open now, running from the 8th to the 14th of December. Tournaments are running multiple times a day, so just pick the time slot that works for you. Jump in and see how far you can go. And don't worry, it's also designed for all players, not just the pros. If you finish top, you will qualify for the closed finals. Prizes throughout the tournament include UEFA Champions League final tickets in Budapest with travel and accommodation included, cash and in-game currency and digital rewards. To take part, all you need is a PS5, EA Sports FC 26, an active PlayStation Plus membership, and to be 18 or over. To get started, fire up your PS5 and launch FC 26. On the main menu, hit the PlayStation Tournaments button. Select the UEFA Champions League Challenge. Simply pick a tournament that suits your time and hit register. You'll very quickly get a notification on your console when it's time to play. Good luck in the UEFA Champions League Challenge, and I'll see you on the pitch. Yeah, I can't wait to see how the UEFA Champions League Challenge does wrap up. Some fantastic prizes on the line, and you might even see me and Matt in there battling our way through. I'm sure that if we were battling our way through that tournament, through the PlayStation tournaments, we'd be using Claudia Pina, Player of the Month.
Oh, yes.
Before we delve into this, and before we look at the stats and the thoughts and the feelings and how good is Pina, how good is this Player of the Month Pina, I want to do a little, very slight comparison with some other players in the game. So we're going to play a game of Would You Swap Claudia Pina, Player of the Month, for your striker? I'm going to list some strikers off, and you just tell me, would Pina replace this striker if you had them in your team? Gold Trinity Rodman.
Absolutely not.
So, Gold Rodman is... So we'll say, is Pina going to... would you swap Pina for these strikers?
Okay.
So, yes.
Yes, we would. Okay.
There we go.
Do you want to just do that again, Rich?
I will, yeah. We're going to play a very, very quick game of would you swap Player of the Month Claudia Pina for your striker? I'm going to list some strikers off in the game, some popular players, and all Matt is going to tell me is, would Pina replace this striker? Let's start with Gold Trinity Rodman.
Absolutely.
Ultimate Screen Benzema.
Yes.
Flashback Miedema.
Yes.
Ultimate Screen Dybala.
Yes.
Ousmane Dembele, gold item.
Still would.
Captain's Pajor.
I think she's only got 3-star weak foot, so Pina still in. So yeah, Pina gets in.
Let's level up a little bit. Base icon Francesco Totti.
The heritage is there, but I think Pina still gets in.
Okay, let's level up again. Another icon, Alex Morgan.
I'm going to say personal preference here. I like the icons. If it's tradable Alex Morgan, I'm keeping her in the team.
Okay. Player of the month, Mbappe.
Yeah, I'll keep Mbappe in. Just for the aura.
Yeah, just for the... I mean, you've used 4 million coins worth of... You've got to get use out of him.
It's a power play.
Yeah, absolutely. And finally, cornerstones, Claudia Pina.
I'm going with the player of the month, Finesse Plus.
It's a big talking point. Let's have a look at this item because she has been released into the game. Before we even look at the stats, I know we're gonna share screen here. And we're gonna see Pina in all her glory. The first thing that draws right away is the price. 560k, 550k, over 500,000 coins when fodder sort of balances out. You can see the expiry date. There is a little bit of time, shall we say, to complete this SBC.
Yep.
Were you surprised by the price before we look at the playstyles and the stats and whatnot? Me personally, I was slightly surprised by how expensive this was. I thought it would fall 200 to 400k.
Yes. I think when you consider how cheap the base gold item is and the level of upgrade, you are basically paying 500,000 coins for a change in playstyle plus. Yes, there are small stat boosts, but realistically, it's 500,000 coins to go from low driven to Finesse plus. Yes, there is, I think, one role that you get in there. I think it's left mid winger plus. You're not really bothering with that if you're playing her at striker. So I was surprised, but I think it speaks volumes about potentially how EA internally view how good this card is going to be. But even so, 500,000 for that level of boost, questionable.
I think, I mean, it's a bigger discussion on Player of the Month in general. I think when you see Haaland get Player of the Month, that item is what it was expensive, right? 600k, 650k. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Mbappe's Player of the Month, super expensive. Lamine Yamal's Player of the Month, super expensive. I think there is a bit of an issue in pricing these Player of the Months, and I think that's a much bigger thing on how we sort of address this content in general. However, it has to be priced alongside the cornerstones when you look at the upgrade. This cornerstones has been dropping in price when Player of the Month Pina, did get leaked, announced, teased, whatever you want to call it. It does feel incredibly expensive. However, I would be if you were playing 15 games of champs, I would assume 2/3 you're playing against this Pina because people do have fodder from Black Friday. People were opening those 84x3s, those 82x10s. This is going to be a very, very heavily completed SBC.
I think so. And I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there, Rich, in terms of how this was priced. Coming off the back of a really, really strong Black Friday promo from a fodder perspective. So many people getting those 84.3s, 82.10s. So if we hadn't have had those and this was released maybe before Black Friday, I think we might have seen this around maybe the 300 to 400k mark. So there probably is a level of estimation as to how much fodder people have in their clubs already. Yeah, but even so, you think of the other SBCs we have out, and I'm sure we'll get onto it when we have the hot or not debut later on. Yeah. But this is around the same price as like a Carlos Alberto or a Cafu. You're thinking the longevity of that kind of player. Who's to say that this gold Pina at some point in the near future isn't eligible for an Evo that maybe gets Finesse Plus as that second play style?
Well, as soon as we go from 85 to 86, on the base max rating. This Pina, they will be very, very, very careful on what Evo's Pina can go into, as they always are with some of these big players. I think Cristiano Ronaldo last year, when he was sort of on that cusp, it was only probably in the new year when he was eligible to be Evo'd. However, I think if you look at Pina and you look at the stats that he possesses, and I mean, I was at the Pro Open on Monday. Slightly different set of circumstances because you have a budget. You've got sort of a max amount of coins that you're allowed. Every single person in that tournament had Cornerstone's Pina. And when you ask people why you're not using Morgan or Mia Hamm or these real premium purchase strikers, if you've got a player of the month Mbappe, would you complete this? For coin value, Pina is probably the best player we've ever had in Ultimate Team. For coin value. I mean, this gold version is by far that, but even the Cornerstones, for 400k, you're getting a player that is on the pitch. I don't know how it comes around, but up there with the best strikers on the game, with how the game is played.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of discussions.
Is value in that aspect.
I've seen a lot of discussions, actually, and a lot of people are kind of going back to like old FIFAs to like try and compare like the impact that this card is having on the game. You know, comparing this to like the old school, like, you know, Ben Yedder's, for example, you know, that drag back meta. But even in those years, you would still be taking at that time your Ronaldos and your Messis and Mbappes and Neymars at the top level. You're not seeing that. So this is really a first time that we're seeing this, where a card like this is not only competing with those top end, but people are actually preferring them. I do question what will happen when we start getting that second playstyle plus. You know, what happens if we get a card with finesse and low driven?
Yes.
I think that's where it could change.
Yeah, finesse and incisive plus, or just a tiki taka or something like that. Let's have a look at this player of the month a little bit more in detail then, and we can have a look. Firstly, the big change, low driven to finesse plus. That's the big thing. Were you expecting this as some sort of change? I think there was conversations about there has to be some element of difference, because why would people do it? You can just go and buy the Cornerstones. Yeah. I was slightly surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does make sense. I would have been very interested if they'd have gone maybe like a passing playstyle route. You know, what if they'd have given her incisive plus at striker? Now, a lot of people like to play that way with a 4-5-1, with her dropping in, those wingers pushing on, playing that incisive through ball. But yeah, I can understand, you know, for the price, it has to be finesse. There is that discussion at the moment. Is finesse better than low driven?
I mean, it aligns perfectly with the goalkeeper movement nerf, doesn't it? That finesse really shots now are sort of the way to go. I know we're going to have a little compare here. I mean, just look at the comments there, by the way, just very quickly. Nearly 2,500 comments already.
We won't go down to the comments because I'm sure there will be.
We'll keep that with PG here. With PG. But I can just imagine some of the things that have been said about Claudia Pina, and a lot of people very happy with Claudia Pina because you are saving coins in the grand scheme of things. You don't have to go and buy Mbappe. You don't have to buy Ousmane Dembele. You don't need R9 if you're wanting to play competitively this year. Yep. She does that job. Let's have a look at this compare then, because this is, I mean, talk me through what we're seeing here. We've got, for people who can't see, who are listening on audio devices, we're going to be comparing the Player of the Month, Claudia Pina, the Cornerstones, Claudia Pina, the gold item, and then also a gold item that is eligible to go through the Perfectionist Evo. This is an Evo that releases at level 33 from the Season Pass, and you get some slight increases in stats. So take it away, Matt. You've got the data here. What are we seeing?
Yeah, so I think, you know, the number one thing that I think people will look at when comparing are probably the stats. You know, everything else for the most part across, you know, Cornerstones, the Gold and the Perfectionist Evo, I believe, are all very, very similar from a playstyle perspective. 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot. So, you know, realistically here, I think the choice is for people, if you're sort of looking tradable, you've obviously got that gold version. Are you going to upgrade to the cornerstones, or are you going to put the fodder in to get the player of the month? So from a stats perspective, really isn't a huge difference pace-wise. We're talking +1s to the cornerstones versus the player of the month, and only +3s to that gold version. So I don't know about you, Rich, but the pace for me, even on the gold, it's not feeling like 79, sprint speed, 78 acceleration, is it? So
not at all.
I haven't seen too many people noticing a big pace increase of either the cornerstones or the player of the month to the.
She's
gold
just
version.
fast, and it's just like it's just it's quite like. I also don't think people could tell me straight faced if you said, what's the difference between 79 pace and 80 pace and 81 pace?
Exactly.
You're not telling me that. Like I struggle to believe that someone can feel that difference. However, you feel how quick she is off the mark, that instant acceleration, that instant burst of pace, and that's what she has. So I think pace wise, you're probably not. You're not buying a cornerstones or completing an SBC for the pace. If you want that pace, you stick with the gold.
Absolutely. And I think, same with the shooting. The shooting stats, again, are you telling me the difference between 88 and 89 finishing is so small?
Yep.
The only difference here is that playstyle plus, as we already mentioned. So, again, depending on your preference, again, mentioning that goalkeeper movement nerf, finesse does feel a lot more powerful now. I'm noticing a lot more people charging their goalkeeper out, in which, low driven's potentially slightly less effective with, the saves from saves with feet trait on a lot of those Evo goalkeepers. I know that's something that I've been doing a lot with recently with my Evo Thomas Kaminski that's got saves with feet plus. So doesn't do it in real life, but he does it in game, which is great. So yeah, shooting wise, I'm probably going for the player of the month from that perspective. Passing, again, I don't think there's anything crazy here. Slight note on the perfectionist Evo, get slightly more curve and vision, but again, that 87 curve versus an 83. Again, you're probably still preferring the finesse plus with that. So I think what we're seeing here, Rich, is that across the board, 500,000 coins is not buying you a stat boost.
No,
it's not buying you anything that's really, going to be huge. Notice the perfectionist Evo does give +12 heading accuracy, but again, on someone that's, how tall is she? What, 5'3"? I want to say 5'3". It's not going to make much difference. Roles wise, again, it's worth noting things like inside forward plus here versus the base inside forward. But again, how many people are using Pina out wide? It's that striker role that you're really looking for. And again, nothing really sort of too crazy in that respect. False 9 plus may be good if you play that way in a 4-5-1. I don't know about you, Rich. Have you seen many people running?
People do like the false 9, but it's false 9 or advanced forward, really.
Yeah,
it's one or the other.
Yeah, so maybe an element of that. If false 9 is your kind of thing, that plus, there is some value there. But again, with all these Evos that are coming out now for that 86 potentially, I wouldn't put it past them. Potentially even being able to give the base 86 Claudia Pina advanced forward plus. That's definitely a possibility. So yeah, as of yet, no crazy differences. That playstyle plus is the main one, but like we've seen with the perfectionist Evo, will there be an opportunity for this Claudia Pina very soon? Could we be seeing a 90 plus pace Claudia Pina going through an Evo at some point? Could we be seeing, maybe an improvement in the playstyles at some point? What playstyles would you give at the base?
Playstyle on playstyle, you're looking across the board. I don't think there's, from the from the player of the month to the cornerstones, you're just swapping low driven plus for finesse plus and vice versa. Other than that, it is literally exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's personal preference. Do you prefer finesses? Do you prefer low drivens? If you're doing low driven finesses, do you want the low driven main or the finesse main? Another thing to consider, I know we're talking, it might seem quite far away, but there's a very, very high chance that this Claudia Pina is going to get a Team of the Year item if it's the same as last year with public voting. I think she got 26 goals in Liga F for Barcelona across the 2025 calendar year for Barcelona women. She's going to be in the voting, and if it is a public vote, as it has been the last few years, she will be the striker. You can guarantee that. So I've just got a message from producer Dan. She's the second top scorer this season on 9 goals in Liga F. So she's also performing in real life, which means, obviously, look, Team of the Year is, it feels a long way away. We're probably about 6 weeks from Team of the Year.
It's not that long, really, in the grand scheme of things.
How much is a Team of the Year Pina going to cost? Is she going to get 3 playstyle pluses? And if that is the case, would they combo low driven with finesse with maybe I could probably see a tiki-taka, maybe a technical. Is that too far out of reach, though? Like, that item, if an 87 rated player of the month item is valued at 600k, 550, 600k, a Team of the Year Pina might be 6 million coins, 5 million coins. And that is just out of reach for too many people. So, is that player of the month Pina? I suppose the question you need to ask yourself, and we'll round it up here, because I know we've been talking about this for 15 minutes now. Pina probably gets in your team unless you've got R9 up top, or Zlatan, or someone that you really love, or someone that is just wow, I can't drop this player. Unless you've got a sentimental value to a player, player of the month Pina is worth completing. The next question you need to ask yourself: how much are you playing the game right now? How much are you actively playing the game? And if you are investing this money into Pina and you're doing it all in one go, you will get the rewards back from playing the game in this Pina, especially over winter wildcards, where we typically have a decent grind and we have daily objectives with lots of daily logins and lots of packs up for grabs. You will recoup this money. If you're worried about the price, I think that's the least worrisome thing about it. I think it is. It's going to be a pretty instant complete for a lot of players. The only thing that you probably need to consider is how long is she going to be in my team? Just look at the downvotes as well there, by the way. Nearly 8,000 downvotes on this Claudia Pina on the FUTBIN site.
What I would say to this as well, Rich, you don't have to rush to complete this. You've got until the 5th of January, by which time I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting 2 Playstyle Plus cards, potentially through Winter Wildcards. So I think that was sort of the timing last year that we got them, wasn't it? So that point, there could be, we don't like to say a new kid on the block, but there could be potentially up top in teams. So I would, if it was my club right now, I'd be hanging fire just because of the Evo potential pretty soon with the 86. The potential for dual Playstyle Plus cards, through Winter Wildcards.
Last year, I'm just looking right now very quickly. These are some of the players who were at Winter Wildcards last year. Just for comparison, because people maybe think they're not going to release a Claudia Pina player of the month and then a Claudia Pina promo item, are they? Haaland, Vinny Jr., Hansen, Vinny, Neymar, Frenkie de Jong, Sophia Wilson, Heung-min Son, Cole Palmer. Last year, Winter Wildcards was a very, very good promo.
Yeah.
We got a lot of good, and I mean good players. Vitinha, that's the centre mid Vitinha, who was, I think, 89 rated, who was like 700, 800k, who was just flying into teams. Also, don't be surprised if Pina was to get a Winter Wildcard. Maybe a different position, maybe off the right winger. just don't be surprised. So maybe your advice is bang on there. Give it a bit of time. Wait to see how this plays out, and then react.
I think so. It's been a while, Cornerstones, since the latest one, and we've seen with some of the players released in Joga Bonito that we'll get onto now, I think, is EA, they don't mind it if people complete an Evo or complete a Player of the Month for a player and then release a promo item that is potentially better pretty soon after.
Seems like a great way to move on. Let's move on to Joga Bonito, the newest promo in the game. I didn't really understand where we were coming from this. It seems like we just gave 5-star skills out to everyone and called it Joga Bonito. Obviously, as always in these promos, there's some super high purchase players. In particular, sort of the 2 centre mids there. If you're watching, or if you're listening or not watching, should I say, Vitinha and Bonmati, well over 2 million coins. Other than that, there's quite a decent amount of players for sort of 300-400k. I think Murillo at centre back is a decent shout. I quite like that item. I quite like the Kvaratskhelia out on the left as not a bad item. I think Cole Palmer can be viable. Frankie de Jong is a big ticket, or well over 1 million coins. But it seems for the most part, Matt, that it's sort of not really hit this promo.
Yeah, I think the one criticism I've seen throughout the community is, players like Ryan Cherky, Doku, to an extent. Who's the other one? I can't remember if it was an SBC. But like Cherky, Doku, these are the kind of the players that we've been seeing a lot of Evos for.
Cunha.
Yeah. I think that is something that might have annoyed some people in that they've just completed a big Evo for, well, not even an expensive Evo, because Evos are slightly cheaper this year, but they've spent, the Evo, if you like, on that player, and now they're getting promo cards. So that's one thing. But for me personally, I think it's not a bad promo at all for the kind of cards like that Cole Palmer, like that Mateus Cunha, that are pretty cheap, I would say. A Cole Palmer 89 rated with low driven plus for 150k. That's something that would ask the question if that gets in your team. I think I will say, I feel like I've played a lot more Joga Bonito cards
than other
promos. Yeah. So I think, I have seen a lot of that Cole Palmer. I've seen a lot of that Mateus Cunha. Seen a few
Cancelo a lot.
Cancelo.
Right,
Chloe Kelly. I mean, that Chloe Kelly for 35k, 89 pace, rapid plus, 5-star skill moves, of course. I feel like you are seeing them a lot more, which is usually the sign that the promo is doing quite well. So, yeah.
People also just like skills. I'll be honest. People like a 5-star skiller, and I think when you give players out there opportunity to use players, there's also not a lot of really good 5-star skill players this year that are attainable.
Yep.
Like, and people aren't rolling around with Mbappe like they were in previous years because of Pina at striker. Like, the Pina effect has knocked on for a lot of players. So it feels probably, if I was to give it a rating, this promo 5 out of 10. I think is middle of the pack, maybe 5.5 out of 10. We did get some new heroes, which did get released. It always feels like the icons or heroes that accompany the promo are always slightly more interesting for me. I think there's a couple of players in this that really sort of that are quite interesting. Obviously, the new players that did come out, Matt, Charisma off the bench there, the bottom of the picture, coming in at 500k. We got Amar, and we also got, I'm just trying to scan the page, Nasib.
Yep.
Thoughts and feelings?
Well, I packed Amar, and I tell you what, I've been very impressed. It's one of those cards, again, for 50k, I think, if you pack him, he's definitely getting in a gauntlet team. That's something that we love to say.
Yep.
He might not make your main team. He's definitely getting in that second or third team. Tiki Taka Plus, I would say one of the top
more premium playstyles. Yeah,
top 2 or 3 playstyles for an attacking midfielder. But just looking across the team as well, that Joe Cole at 160k with Tech Plus, play right wing, left wing, also through the middle. That to me, like if someone said that you would let's say you had a Joga Bonito hero pick, and you're getting handed a Joe Cole, you would probably say that you'd absolutely take that. And it's 160k card. So, yeah, I think
I really like Maicon in this promo.
Definitely.
I think he's one that will last the test of time.
Yeah.
Slightly frustrating with the Playstyle Plus, with Rapid, but Intercept felt pretty essential to give him. Obviously, he's got Bruiser, which is really nice. He can play forward. Mm-hmm. It seems like a very, very good item. You can see that as well from the FUTBIN rating as well. He's
definitely
rating very highly, pretty much across the board.
Yeah, I think the play styles that have been given here really make it. He's got what, pinged, intercept added. Base version didn't even have rapid. Now he's got rapid plus.
Yeah. And he's got 5-star skills at right back, so
exactly
you can play forward with him.
Yeah, I think it's been a good player selection. I'll be honest. It feels like in this one there's a lot more players. Like previously, we haven't really been speaking about players sort of under that sort of 200k range that you might give a chance to. You've got a few of those now, which is really, really nice. And obviously, still those big ticket items. Bit frustrating that they are sort of falling into that same position. It's 3 centre mids that are the big premium items this week, I would say.
The last one, and De Jong. The last player that I think we always give a recommendation from the promo, Ndombele, on the bench there. He is looking pretty special, I'll be honest. I think there is already an Evo path where he can fit into as well down the line. And
controller, that's already really nice. With the
this is, I think if you do pack this Ndombele, maybe put him straight in, or maybe just hold him for a little bit, because he's already got fantastic base play styles. There's some real good potential on this Ndombele if you do get him.
Song of Toure as well, eligible for. Is Song of Toure, is that... Sorry, I'm going a little bit off topic. Is that 85? Yeah, I was going to say, if it was an 86 cap, imagine you could do like the controller and then into Song of Toure. But it's a really, really nice promo from that perspective as well, Rich. We've now got promo items that from the get-go you can be putting straight in. I mean, that right there, we're already talking a seriously good midfielder that pinged, long, ticky, tech with incisive plus.
Lots of rolls.
Lots of rolls, so much versatility. So I think, it's really, really nice. And again, I think this will only continue as we get into winter wildcards now, and that potential Evo rating cap starts to lift up to an 86, potentially even an 87. So exciting times ahead as we get into Christmas.
Let's move on. I feel like we've talked a decent amount there about Evo, so we're going to halt the Evo chat just for now. And we're going to move very quickly on to your debut.
Oh, yes.
On Hot or Not. 18 episodes it's taken, and Matt is in the hot seat. If you don't know how this works, I'm going to give some SBCs out from the last 7 days. All Matt needs to do is tell me, are they hot or are they not? Do you complete them or do you give them a miss? Let's kick off with Dimitar Berbatov coming in at 275k.
I'm going to need a little refresher here, Rich.
5-star skills. Joga Bonito.
275k. Low driven plus, am I right in saying?
Believe so.
I'm going to say not. I think it's about 150k too expensive.
Okay. The Liga F Player of the Month, Claudia Pina.
Well, I would say, can we say mild? No, I would go with hot, given that that finesse plus. Still prefacing that there might be better cards down the line. Maybe hold off for a week or two, maybe till the next promo.
Julian Duranville, 70k.
I'm going to go not, just because I think there's better Evo versions that I've seen of that card.
Yeah, I agree. The 5-star skill Evo, coming in at just under 30k. Bit of a rogue one, this.
It's hard for me to say hot, because I think you're going to get so many Evos that give 5-star skills anyway. I don't know if I'd pay 30k just for 5-star skills. So I'm going to say, for that reason, not. Could be hot if there's one player that you absolutely love to get 5-star on.
We're going to go for the Play Beautifully Manchester City women. 3 items in there. I believe it's Lelia Uhabe, Caroline Nikolai, and obviously Hasegawa. Coming in at just about 90k.
Yeah, 90k for all 3. I would go Hasegawa 100%. Not sure about the other 2.
Okay. So we're just completing one segment?
I would probably just complete one segment. Although, at that point, you've got a 25k pack and you complete all 3. Maybe go all 3 just because of the Evo potential. You've got the links there ready to go with Hasegawa.
And finally, the premium player from Joga Bonito, released on Friday, Lucas Paquetá.
Very expensive. Very, very expensive. I'm going to say, with all the Evos that we've had for Centimids recently, that Song of Toure and Ndombele, for example, I'm going to have to go with not for 330k.
There you go. Hot or not with Matt.
How did I do, Rich?
You're coming in quite mild. We've had some instant hots. We've had some instant nots across the board. I feel like that we're quite a mixed bag.
Yeah, I am coming at it from the perspective. I don't like spending coins. All right, it's got to be flaming hot. It's got to be extra spicy for me to be parting with my coins. But yeah, a few pretty expensive ones. We're starting to see some cards now that have better Evo versions. That Duranville. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people. I think we actually last week with Morsey, he had a Duranville Evo, didn't he? So Magician of the Right. So yeah, I think a good week.
Obviously, we talked about the promo, we talked about the content that came out. There has been SBCs that have been releasing here and there. We keep getting, I want to get your opinion on this before we move on to talking about the patch and the gameplay updates that have been taking place in the last week. We keep getting these re-ups of icon upgrades. We've released we've got rid of sort of the rating cap. There's just a base icon upgrade coming in at just under, I think, 300k. It's like 295k, roughly. What's your take on this? Are you surprised that we've not seen the goalpost move ever so slightly? Or do you think where we are now, December, this is what we expected? Because we're seeing store packs that are giving out icons as like 400k coins, 2,000 FC points. You can get an icon. It might have a rating cap. I think it was 89, the last one that we saw, the 89 guaranteed icon pack.
Yeah.
I think over Winter Wildcards, we'll see Winter Wildcard guarantee packs, and we'll probably see non-rating cap icon packs in the store. Do you want to see minimum icon SBC upgrades available? Minimum 86, minimum 87?
Yeah, I think it's either going to be that, or once we get potentially Winter Wildcard icons, we'll start seeing maybe like the promo icons included in those packs, as well as some campaign icon upgrades. But I think, to be honest, I think it's the right time to be doing it. How many of those icons, we've spoken a lot about Pina and the likes of Totti not even going to be sort of displacing her. Alex Morgan is like a 50-50. So it's like, how many icons are there? Probably more so defenders, I would say. Like if you're getting a Rio Ferdinand or a Maldini, or even still like a Carlos Alberto, they're making it entertaining. Starting to see a lot of Carlos Albertos in champs now.
Yeah.
So I think we are at the stage now where we do need those icon upgrades. It makes good sense, I think, from a power curve perspective that they're available now. I think next step, get those promo icons in. I don't think minimum rating guarantee, because even if you put like an 87 minimum,
still a lot of shockers in there.
You're not reducing it enough. Even 88, you've still got Paul Scholes in there, haven't you? So
icon wise, fun promos. Just think off the top of my head, we've got obviously Thunderstruck. I think that might be it so far. We're going to get Winter Wildcard icons because we saw Zola in the season pass.
Yeah.
Do you put in the SB the champion icons that were pre-order bonuses that are now available on the market? I think that could juice it up. A chance of an R9 or an Henri, almost a double hit. Like I
think so.
There's 2 Ibras in this, or there's 2 Henris in this, for example. You can get the promo version, or you could get the champion version of it. Now they're actually available on the market to go and buy.
I think so. I mean, you look at those cards that you've got now. I've got it up here, and there are some serious heavy hitters from those pre-orders. Now they've got upgraded. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they don't do it just these champion icons, but I could see them getting included. Like, if you're hitting like that Iniesta,
anyone off that top row,
yeah, you'd be.
It's superb.
Absolutely. I don't see them doing this just these, because I think the pool of players is too small.
Yeah.
So the chances, I'd absolutely be taking probably anyone from Oliver Kahn upwards.
I think even I think
Tony Kroos,
CC is very good. Tiki-Taka Plus there. Yeah. Oliver Kahn obviously is superb, and then anyone from that top row. When I say the top row, by the way, Chiellini, Iniesta, Totti, Morgan, Henri, Zlatan, or R9. Let's just keep our ears open and our eyes peeled for what might be coming up next.
Absolutely. I'd love to know. Please do let us know in the comments on socials if you've played against any first owner variants of these, because I think I've seen Zlatan once. I haven't seen R9, haven't seen Henri, haven't seen Morgan. I barely even see like Totti, to be honest. Like, it's only really
Iniesta.
I think I've seen 1 or 2 Iniestas, but it's a lot of Sissy, a lot of Char, few Oliver Kahns, a lot of Gerrards.
Do you know my midfield right now is a combination of Toni Kroos and Steven Gerrard, because I had Kroos as the original and I packed Steven Gerrard
while he's
been out. Yeah, so I've got both in there. It's definitely interesting. Let us know down below your thoughts on who did you pack in the pre-order, and have you gone and picked one up? If you missed the pre-order, just go and buy one off the market. You can get Gerrard for 80k. Let's end talking about the recent updates, the patch. Goalkeeper movement significantly reduced, the impact of the right stick, and they also got rid of the double tap triangle manual movement when you are trying to move the goalkeeper. We've played now for a week. We've seen it. We've felt it. I don't particularly like it. I quite like goalkeeper movement. I might be on an island there. I thought it added something into the game in the final bit of the pitch. Now it feels like if you have any chance inside the box, you've scored.
Yeah.
And people will say, well, you've worked the ball into the box, so you should be rewarded with it. No, because every single time you shoot now, you're going to score. There's also, and I will die on this hill, there is no reason if you're playing if the only thing you play is Ultimate Team, if you're not playing pro clubs against 11v11 players and you're playing against a human goalkeeper, there is no reason to use precision shooting. Because every goal goes in. You don't need to aim. The goalkeeper can't get to the corner. So as long as you aim it, you don't even have to aim it. You just press finesse and it goes in. The goalkeeper, your opponent can't do anything. There's no. I took precision off last night and I'm still scoring as many goals as I scored with precision on.
Is it a bad time to say that I actually quite like the changes? For me, it feels like people still defend the same way.
Yes.
The defending is still very, very AI heavy.
It is.
At the top level, when I'm playing, when I'm pushing for elite champs, you still get as many chances as you previously did, but that conversion rate has gone up. I don't dislike that, because I think it actually forces people. Like now, if people are, AI defending against me,
Just finesse it.
I run it and I finesse it.
Yeah.
So there's actually now, for me, a little bit more of an incentive to be a bit more aggressive defensively, which I think anyone would agree is what we want. We want a more manual. Again, depending on what side of the fence you stand on, you want a more manual defending game where you're forced to go and take the ball. So it was the first weekend that I actually properly. I enjoyed playing champs last weekend. Yeah. I used the Charlton Evo team. I think I went 13-2, and it felt pretty good. I'll be honest.
I'm worried that when the holiday update came out, there was that bit at the bottom which said we are looking at AI defending, and this will be addressed in January. If AI defending gets massively reduced, goalkeepers have to be better, because then everything's going in. I'm better off using Carlos Puyol in goal with block plus than I am my actual goalkeeper, because they're not saving anything. At least with block plus, I get some wacky animations.
Do you know? I agree that's what I've been doing though. I actually, one of my things that I've been doing in champs now, I've got Lloyd Jones, big meaty man at the back. He's got block base, and I just stand him in front of every shot, and he blocks it. It is more effective.
That's how I want to play the game.
One thing that I will say though, that my only sort of counter to this, just rush the keeper out. It feels like you have to now. You have to force them into some sort of decision, whether that's, faking them out for a chip, forcing them into, maybe taking a low driven when the angle's not great. A lot of the time they will just finesse it round you. But
I've just been told by producer Dan, you can put the block plus Evo on the goalkeeper, apparently.
Can you actually?
So if that is true, if we're getting fed true information there from
our
producer,
work?
I'm doing it. I'm putting block plus on because, I don't know. Maybe because I was good at goalkeeper movement, I enjoyed that mechanic. I understand a lot of people if they didn't enjoy the mechanic, it's great. Even if you did enjoy it and you used it, it could have been frustrating. It's still in my mind when I'm defending. I still do it. It's ingrained in me to move the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I'll be very intrigued to see if this sticks, because long term, I think that's the big thing.
I am still using it, and there are still instances. If you time it, you have to time it perfectly, don't you? That you can still get the same results, but if you're not timing it and it's like within a 0.1 second, I would say, you're still saving those crossbody low drivens. You are saving some of the finesse shots. Maybe if your goalkeeper has far reach, but other than that,
just while we wrap up here, I'm sure people want a very quick tip before we end the podcast. Goalkeepers now, what is the go-to play style? It was footwork. Now is it just you want as far reach as big as possible? Biggest goalkeeper with far reach plus?
I think so, yeah. That's probably the one thing I noticed most from champs this week in my goalkeeper. Luckily, he's got saves with feet plus and far reach base. So, yeah, but I was noticing more the saves with far reach than I was saves with feet now, because so many people are going for that far post finesse versus a low driven. So, probably that would be my main thing. And if you can get the rush out playstyle as well on your goalkeeper, I think that's very, very beneficial to close the gap quickly before they can take an inevitable finesse shot goal.
Yeah, it certainly feels that way, doesn't it? Let us know your thoughts. How are you feeling about Joga Bonito was a promo. Claudia Pina Player of the Month, and the recent updates in goalkeeper movement. But I think that about wraps us up for this episode of the FUTBIN Pod. Matt, it's been an absolute pleasure, just me and you, but I thought I went very smoothly.
Oh, well, yeah, it was like riding a bike, Rich, mate. So, yes, no, it was, bit of a stand-in episode. I had to step up as the assistant gaffer, but, that's what we do here at the FUTBIN Pod. So, no, pleasure as always, Rich.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening to the award-winning FUTBIN podcast. We'll be back next week talking all things new promo and how we are feeling about the game, what's been happening in a jam-packed week of FC Live content. We'll see you there. Have a great week and good luck in your champs. See you soon.